And thanks again for joining me this week in our weekly email that I send out. This week I wanted to share something that I've been thinking about and that really helped me not feel so lonely during this awakening journey. And some of you may have thought of this, but maybe not taken it to this level, but it really works. So I have three main things I'm going to talk about today to help you feel less lonely and kind of break out of your shell. Even if you don't know if you're going through awakening as such, we're going through life and this can be so helpful to us, I think. But particularly for the spiritual awakening journey, when so much is changing inside of us and we don't know anybody oftentimes in our local area, maybe who's going through this, or our friends, and you don't have anybody to talk to. So I'm going to go through what I did, and then you can consider this for yourself. So again, as you receive this link, I just want you to know that only those of you who are on my email list receive these videos. I use YouTube to make it easier for you to view as well as for me to record. So anyway, that link is just for those of you who are on my email list. So let's get started. I have three things I want to talk about today. How to feel less lonely during spiritual awakening. First of all, I was never much of a social media fan. I'm just not engaged, all right, before this awakening. And I was never on my personal page, which I'm still not now on Facebook. But I just really wasn't involved in catching up with what people were doing and posting my own business. And that's all good and well, it just wasn't for me. However, what I found during this journey is that I was online a lot trying to learn and understand what was going on with me and why I was seeing these things occurring. And I was realizing other people were experiencing a lot of these same things too. But where I found this out the most, which many of you have obviously probably already figured out, is on Facebook. And so what I did was I perused Facebook for light workers. I searched for that. Light Workers Awakening is a great group, very large. There's also the Awakening Community, which is another great group, and they're very large, which also means it can be pretty chaotic too. But there are also smaller groups that you can find that people have created on their own, which are less, I would say, overwhelming, and also give you a chance to get to know people, all right? So I was on about 5 or 6 of those groups and asked myself to either be invited or had someone invite me as I started to get to know a few people. But that's my point, is get yourself involved in some of these Facebook groups, particularly the smaller ones. Some of the larger ones are great too if you really want to stay engaged, but I think it's a little harder to get to know people really well. And so what I did was started to connect with people that just came my way. And you know how this awakening journey is. You just kind of get connected with the people you're supposed to be connected with, and you know it. Or those you resonate with and really feel deeply about, stay connected with them and start engaging. So what happened was a little group kind of started to form, and this is the second piece. Suddenly we realized that exchanging over Facebook, our learnings, our sharing, etc., we wanted something more. Now, this for me was really exciting because I didn't have anybody face to face, and I wanted to be face to face with people. And because I didn't have anybody down the street from me, or, think about anything else in life. You pretty much can find somebody that's interested or doing it in your community, or you can go out to an activity in your local community and maybe engage in that. But it's kind of hard with the spiritual awakening journey. So what we did was we created a group, and we created a Facebook group just so we could exchange information. But the bigger part of this is we created an online Zoom group. Now you can use whatever you want. Zoom's a way, obviously most of you probably know this, but to engage face-to-face and to be able to all as a group be online at a particular time. So we started to set up meetings. One of us became the facilitator, and what we did, and this helped so much in the early stages of my journey, we started to meet on a regular basis, and it felt like we were in person, and there's this energetic connection that you can feel, and you feel it so much more as you're going through this awakening journey as well. You just feel that connection to people. And so what we did is we invited, we decided on the number 7. I don't know why, but anyway, and we had met, many of us, through a Facebook group, but then somebody knew somebody else that they invited, and we became this group of what I would say like-minded, connected individuals that met on a weekly basis. Now, you don't have to meet on a weekly basis, but you'll want to try to meet on a regular basis. And I know we're all busy, and yet during this journey, I think it's so important to be able to reach out to others, learn from others, and share with others, because some of this is difficult to go through. And it's helpful to see somebody face to face, and you can really start engaging with them. So we created a group that we would meet on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. And then, thirdly, what we did is we set, I don't want to say agendas, but we had a measured way of going through our meeting as such. And of course, it was social too, but primarily many of us were healers, that we realized we had gifts. So what we did is we shared our gifts, and we did some little healing exercises. We would bring someone in that we knew needed cared for, and maybe had requested that, and sent good energy to them. So, and then we shared that back with the group as to what we learned. And that was pretty powerful. And it was a nice opportunity for us to actually practice with our gifts. So think about that, because during the awakening, so many intuitive gifts start to open up. And even if you haven't had any open up yet, it's really great to be able to engage with others that have had theirs open up, because you can learn from them. And it can also help spark you, because what I found in this group is that during this time, when we were really engaged with each other, it felt like our vibration would raise, and it allows you to open up to even more, I believe, of your own greater gifts. So then what we would do is we would really actually start talking about what had occurred in our week, where we were going on our journey, how we were doing, and then had some learnings that we would actually offer. And I would say to you, I guess, you can make this up your own. I mean, there's so many different ways you can do this, but I think it's really powerful if you come in to a meeting of your group with talking about a topic or a learning. And you can either set that up in advance, or you can just go on the fly with it. But you want somebody to be the facilitator of the meeting, and maybe you want to rotate that and whatnot. And it's not that hard to get set up. So basically what you're doing is you're running through some of the same similar kinds of agenda, if you want to get businessy, agenda items each week. And it's so much fun. And then you can just kind of allow a free-for-all, and whether you want to put that at the end or the beginning. I think for us, the end would have been better, because we were pretty chatty. And so we had such a blend of people. I think there were 3 people from Canada, and the rest were from the US, but we were from all over. And it was just such a neat situation to engage in. And many of the participants actually ended up meeting in person. So I just want to toss this out to you. So 3 things that I've mentioned today that allow you to actually then engage is get yourself and try to motivate yourself to maybe be the one to start this. Even if you're the one to maybe sit back and not do that, start engaging with certain people, maybe with that end in mind. And, if you're lonely and you're wanting to reach out, you're going to be so amazed at what you're going to get from being able to engage with people face to face that are of the light workers, or that of spiritual awakening, going through that process, or on this journey of gifts opening up. And even maybe if you just have friends, or people who are just interested in this, you could invite them too. I wouldn't get your group too big, but start out small and then grow, and you're going to be surprised at what power it brings to you. Being with like vibration people online, face to face. So first of all, if you're not already on social media, and I'm just going to use Facebook, and there are other obviously vehicles for that, start thinking of the people you engage with most often, and maybe see if they're interested. Okay. Secondarily, set up a group. Once you've gotten to that point where you have a few people, and then they could invite a friend or two. It's not going to take you this much time to get this started. learn Zoom or whatever other vehicle you want to use to be able to engage online face to face. All right. And you can use Facebook. I think you can use Facebook for that too. I'm not sure. But anyway, we used Zoom. It worked really well and it was free. And then you just set that up on a regular basis. So get your Zoom account set up, get the group set up. Okay. And you might want to have a Facebook group for that too. So that you can engage throughout the week, which was kind of nice for us. And then thirdly, get a little agenda set up for you to start walking through and let it be loose and have some of that available to you too. But make it a learning opportunity. But again, it's to allow yourself to not feel so lonely. It can help you so much during this time. So take that initiative, because so often we sit back and we wait for somebody else to do it. But no, do it. Take that initiative, and you might be surprised what's going to come out of this for you. You know, you never know. This may be something bigger for you down the road, or it may stay nice and small and allow you to have the most amazing group of friends that you connect with on a regular basis. So get out there if you'd like, and try this for yourself. And I'd be really interested to know, if you do engage in this opportunity, how it works out for you. So I hope you have a wonderful week and took something away to not feel so lonely on your journey moving forward. Thank you and have a wonderful week.